last one that I kind of want to throw at you and put you on the hot seat for it because it's a very, very fair criticism that quite a few people have had because you had a very, very, I don't want to say viral, but there was a lot of views on a video that you said something very definitive and
hashtags are dead. That's what I said. Yeah. And it wasn't completely right. And I want to correct it.
So let's dig into that.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of people who have commented like, hey, you know, you guys have said that hashtags are dead. And then we went to your TikTok channel and there's nothing but hashtags there. What's the deal? So what's your response?
So, in retrospect, I wouldn't have been as definitive about that. Just to give some context, I don't post my own TikToks. Our multimedia designer has actually gone into a black hole of trying to navigate the TikTok algorithm and to like optimize and post. And she really enjoys this. And she loves like getting into like the nerdy technical details. So Jasmine actually posted it or has been posting them, and there has been hashtags, but what my point is still correct. I need to differentiate by platform, and I wish I could go back and edit the video, but I can't. So here we are. Hashtags are no longer relevant on Instagram. And that is like the clear kind of point just to kind of start with. The reason why it's worth talking about hashtags on Instagram is because they used to be super relevant. So that is how... It's okay, Chelsea just wanted to stop in to say hi. Hashtags used to be super relevant on Instagram, and it's important to point that out because that's why people still use them or think they should use them. So before, hashtags would play a part in viral content. So businesses were incentivized to use a ton of hashtags. There was even hashtag generating apps that gave suggestions for your type of content piece for what kind of hashtags to use so you can get more likes, more followers, more reach. That's changed. So now basically there's a thing called, it's just the end of the day. So where the social media apps are going, sorry, my eyes were closed. I forgot this is being recorded. Okay, I'm going to start from the top because I got distracted. And I shouldn't be. I know this is a podcast. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
I get the flexibility of being able to start over again. It's the end of the day. Bear with me. Okay, so hashtags are no longer relevant on Instagram, and it's important to differentiate by platform. Instagram used to prioritize hashtags. It's how they would sort and push content to help posts go viral. So hashtags used to be a great way to get more followers, increase reach, increase engagement, increase follower count, all the great things of why businesses would care about hashtags before. Social media has started to shift, and they're trying to take Google's throne. So social SEO is a real thing, and it's more focused on queries than keywords. So it's analyzing the meta tag description within not only the caption, but also the content that's in the photo, because it's using AI to categorize the actual image. And the algorithm is quite advanced. They don't share what pieces it's particularly using for virality per se, but hashtags don't play a part anymore on Instagram. Hashtags can be relevant for an older audience because some older people or those who may not be informed about the switch away from hashtags may still use them. But as a general rule of thumb, for wanting to generate virality, they're no longer necessary. And that was the point of the video, is if you're looking to win on socials and kind of those like quick tips for success, hashtags aren't one of them anymore. On TikTok, hashtags are different. They seem to be relevant, but again, we're not entirely sure. And that is because none of the platforms give you information on like how to win. It's really a ton of speculation. It's other creators that are providing direction and guidance. Sometimes the social media platforms will come up and say what's changing, but for the most part, it's pretty gate kept. For TikTok, the reason why we think hashtags can work is when you when you type something into the search query, it's actually hashtags that come up as part of the answer. And the hashtags that come up with the higher hit count. So if you type in like hashtag marketing and it's, let's say the first hashtag is marketing and it's got 8 billion hits, that tells you that that hashtag is relevant. What we're doing at TEI, because we're still testing and we're trying to figure out the algorithms like all the other creators, is we're putting the keywords into the caption in addition to adding the top keyword hashtag. Now, TikTok and YouTube are moving to query searches, which is like more sentence-based questions. So how to brand, how to cut your hair, how to make a pizza. It's not hashtag pizza, because hashtag pizza could generate a million different results. But something like branding strategy will narrow that funnel of search function, but it's still predominantly query specific. TikTok is becoming the number one like website or program used daily. Like it's surpassed Google for daily amount of users. So there's more searches that are happening on TikTok by virtue of more users on the platform than on Google. So it's important to know that by volume of humans on platform and by reality of how people are using the platform, hashtags alone won't get you virality on TikTok. But we're leveraging, testing, and trying what creators are doing and suggesting online, and that's why we're using hashtags on TikTok. YouTube is another query-based platform. It's owned by Google. So again, hashtags aren't as necessary on YouTube, but the Shorts feature, which is literally a ripoff of TikTok, seems to also be leveraging the hashtag feature, but also we've not been able to really break through on YouTube Shorts as an agency, not for our clients, but like us specifically. So I can't give much insight into that. I will also say I've had videos break 1 million without hashtags, and I've had videos with hashtags not break 10,000. So it's not seeming to be the difference of hashtags alone. It's the content. And what I can say from what I've seen from my own content is how the algorithm tests it. So I find that the majority of my videos tend to do really well within the first 30 minutes. But if they continue to do really well for the first hour, that's when I know I have a winner. But if it slows down after the 30 minutes, that's when I know that it's not performing. That's once I've reached kind of that tipping point through the algorithm. It does take time to get there. I do tend to recommend 8 to 10 months of consistent posting, and you need to provide quality engaging content. So don't just post to post. But that is kind of my 2 cents on hashtags.
Fair enough. And then just for a bit more context for people who are a bit more geeky about it, what we've been noticing kind of on the analytics side of things is that there was this progression with hashtags over the years, which is YouTube and different platforms recognize that you could abuse hashtags by you could
like for like, follow for follow.
Absolutely nothing to do with the hashtag you're putting on it. And so the algorithms slowly tried to be more contextual. They would negatively affect a post if the algorithm recognized that the post didn't have anything to do with the hashtag being attached.
Exactly.
But now what it seems is it's just that exact thing progressed a little bit further. The algorithms are now intelligent enough that they don't need to look for a hashtag before a word in order to determine it. People who are familiar with website SEO would already kind of have this concept in mind.
Yeah.
It's just that you don't need to indicate to the platforms anymore what your hashtags are, because the platforms are intelligent enough to analyze the content of your video,
of all the
transcript,
things. The sentiment, how people are responding.
Also the comments.
Yeah.
Like you can analyze, it'll analyze the comments. So it's still so important to get the hashtags or the context and content of those hashtags still in your content.
I think you bring up a great point.
You just can't cheap out by just putting a hashtag in front of it.
Exactly. And that is was honestly the core,
It's what
tough.
You wanted people to take away from that video.
It's tough when it's like faceless, like I'm creating content where I'm not looking at the person, right? Because the conversation you and I would have about hashtags is very different than our 71-year-old neurosurgeon client, right? Like, and there's kind of a general misconception about hashtags, and that video specifically did really well, but it depends on the audience who you're speaking to. And I think that that's kind of the major misconception is like a shitty video. Like businesses are like throwing a hashtag on it and they're trying to reach virality, and like it's not enough. The hashtag isn't going to do it on any platform, period. I don't think it ever would have, but maybe there was a period 10 years ago where like the like for like, follow for follow, where you would get actual traction because people are just crawling those hashtags all day. Could work. But yeah, exactly.
All right. So I guess those are some awesome questions that we got directly from the audience.
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to end up doing another one of these videos?
I think I would love to do another one of these videos. I mean, this is a great way, I think, to produce content that is hopefully helpful and meaningful, provides some more context, it's more humanizing to our expertise, because it's really tough when you're just like speaking to a camera and you're like, and this is shit, and stop doing this. It's like, okay, good question from a business owner that's in X. Like, let's talk about this more poignantly. So I think that we would like to see more. Oh, that's my dog. He's saying hi, everybody. We should probably get some more content that's more poignant so that people actually want marketing advice, case study, or specifics on their brand and business and want to send it in. I'd love to go over it.
Awesome. So you heard it from her at the beginning, but just as a reminder, be sure to leave your comments on our videos. We'll make sure that we read and hopefully respond to all of those.
Yeah. Or
and if you have any more in-depth questions, don't hesitate to jump over to our website, drop us a line on our contact form, and we'll make sure that we address it in the next Questions with Camille.
Thanks for listening. Thanks, eh?
All right.
That is great.